I hate these little hole things. H&M is such a strange place. I look like a bandit. Hi beauties, it's your girl Ashley aka Ashhnyc, and I'm back today with a new video. In today's video we are going to be talking about New Year's and new goal setting. It has been a hell of a year, and some of us were very successful in certain things and not successful in others, and just looking back I feel like I know that there are things that I could have done better, and so moving forward in 2022 I have a new set of goals and a new list of things that I would like to achieve this year, and I'm excited to do it, to pursue it, to really get to it, and I wanted to share with you guys just exactly how I plan to achieve those goals. I broke my goal setting up into 3 different categories that I'm going to go through one by one. And I just hope that this is helpful for you, a helpful resource for anyone who wants to get into setting goals and achieving goals and actually achieving goals and kind of doesn't know where to start. I hope that this is helpful for you because this has been extremely helpful for me in setting my New Year's resolutions, my 2022 goals. Before we get into it, I want you guys to subscribe if you have not already joined the family. We're going to talk about it a bit more in this video, but obviously like one of my major goals for this year is to be more consistent on YouTube and to, you know, connect with more people. So if you are liking my content already, you feel like you like it, or you feel like, you know, it's giving you the vibes and the energy you need, then please subscribe. Please subscribe right now. Just do it right now. Just do it right now. Why not? Like, do it right now. Right now. Okay, you did it? Great. Now that that's done, let's go straight into the video. So the way that I do goal setting is that I break it up into 3 different steps. The first step is reflection. I feel like reflection is super important because as we go into the new year, firstly, give yourself flowers. You have carried yourself through 365 days of, I mean, I don't know how it is for you guys, but for me, sometimes it's chaos, sometimes it's sadness, sometimes it's grief, like all of these different emotions and all of these heavy things that we have pushed past in the last 365 days. I want to give myself my flowers. I'm going to give myself the pat on the back that I need to keep me going, because you know what? I did that regardless of what I feel like I may have missed, or, you know, the challenges that I faced. I'm still standing. So I personally think that the first step in my personal reflection journey is to give myself flowers for carrying through, like for just getting here. So I think about, how was I successful? What did I do that I can look back now like, you did that, mamas, like you did that. I just want to know, what did I do well last year? Because if there's something that I did well, I want to keep doing it. I want to bring that into this year. Making resolutions and setting goals doesn't have to be, you failed here, and here, and you didn't do a great job here, and this year you need to. Sometimes it's like, you know what, you did that last year and you need to bring it forward. One thing that I personally feel like I did was I was so good with journaling last year. And that really helped me in this new process of making goals, because I can look back and like, okay, what was my mindset? How was I feeling at this time? How consistent was I with writing down my emotions and processing my emotions? Like I have the paper trail to look back on at that. So for me personally, I think that's a win. That's something that I want to do this year, so that next year I can look back and say, hey, this is, you know, this is where you were in the month of February. You weren't feeling great, but March you did that. Like I want that paper trail. So that was one way, for example, that I bigged up myself, like, you did that. You journaled and you were consistent and you did that, and I'm proud of you. And then once you have given yourself the flowers and you big up yourself, you can try to think a step further, like, okay, what could I have done this year that I didn't do? What is something that I could possibly have done in a different way? What is a situation that I could have handled? What is something that I promised myself that I did not fulfill? And kind of go from there, write those things down. So what I will personally do is I'll go back into my journals at the beginning of last year, and I'll be like, okay, well, what did I write down that I wanted to do that I may not necessarily have fulfilled? So the first step is definitely reflection, because you just want to think about what you could have done, what you didn't do, and how you can do it better. Step number 2, and honestly my favorite step because I'm a dreamer, is to make it plain. I want to make my goals for this year as plain as possible. I want to put them pen to paper, from my lips to God's ears. So I will sit down. I'm a writer. Like, I like to write in journals. I like to write on notepads. I have a physical planner, not a digital one for that reason. I just like to write I want a pen in my hand. So what I did was I sat down and I wrote my goals out in my handy dandy planner, which is around here somewhere. And I just word vomited everything that I wanted, all of my goals, everything that I wanted to do this year differently. I wrote it out and made it plain. And I feel like that helps visualize what you want to do. Instead of saying, oh, I don't know, what's a random goal? I want to get in shape. I was specific by saying I want to work out at least 3 times a week. Just because getting in shape is so vague. Like, what is that? That can mean so many different things versus me saying I want to work out 3 times a week is a very specific goal. I want to post on YouTube 3 times a week is a very specific goal. So getting as nitty-gritty as possible, I feel like is helpful in visualizing, okay, this is what next year might look like for me. This is what I want next year to look like for me. It also puts it into perspective and makes things more reasonable. Like, does that sound like something that can be achievable in a year? Say I want to lose 40 pounds. Does that sound like a healthy weight to lose in a year? You know, just kind of putting things into perspective and making it more realistic and tangible and like, okay, make it as plain as possible. And there of course are different ways of doing this, right? So one way that you can do this is a vision board. A lot of people like vision boards. I personally like vision boards. If you're into vision boards, you can get some magazines, have a vision board party. Like, that would be super cute for you and your friends, or honestly just you by yourself. Getting some magazines and getting just like a piece of paper and just gluing, pasting, or if you're doing it digitally, just copying and pasting all of these things that you can see for yourself. That way it's visible, that way it's tangible, that way it's into perspective. And I feel like if things are in perspective, they're within reach. Like, if I can see it, I can believe it, I can do it, I can touch it. If you follow me on Instagram and you want to do a digital vision board party, girl, we in there. I think that would be so much fun. So you just let me know. Okay, comment below if we should make a vision board together. And then, like I mentioned before, you can simply just write it out. Write it list format, 1, 2, 3, 4, bullet, whatever the case may be. In this step, in this making it plain step, I would suggest that you write it out. Just put it on paper, pen to paper, get it out. And then step 3, which is the most important part, and honestly the hardest part for me personally, is to make it actionable. How can you make these goals actionable? So this is the part when it's like, okay, this is when the dream becomes the reality. This is when you start to really plan it out, get into the nitty-gritty, break up those long-term goals into short-term goals, into shorter-term goals, into what can I do monthly? What can I do weekly? What can I do daily that'll make this goal attainable? You want to make them smaller, tangible, every single day things. Now I'm going to give you a very concrete example of how I went through these steps. So I mentioned before, in my reflection stage, I wanted to be successful and be consistent on YouTube. Obviously that didn't happen. So I'm thinking, okay, well, last year I said I wanted to do this, I didn't do this. Why didn't I do this last year? And I would think to myself, well, one, you weren't consistent in recording and editing. So how are you going to be consistent on posting to YouTube if you are not recording and editing consistently? Make it make sense. 2 is you had all these ideas, because that's me. I have so many ideas that I just want to push, which is why I was like, oh, I'm going to do Vlogmas. Lord, let's get into why I failed at Vlogmas. I failed to prepare, so I was prepared to fail. I was winging Vlogmas. So once I got to like, what, day 5, 6, I was like, oh my god, I have all these ideas. No time to record, no time to edit, because I didn't book those times in my schedule. And that is why I was unsuccessful. So after thinking about that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop and I'm going to go back to the drawing board and I'm going to prepare this time. I'm going to prepare myself to be successful at YouTube, which means to be consistent with YouTube, which means now I'm going to break it down into my shorter term goals, which means I want to post 3 times a week. Okay, cool. That's a nice short term goal. How can I break that down further? And I went and said, okay, if I want to post 3 times a week, that means I need to be recording 3 videos a week, editing 3 videos a week, and posting 3 videos a week, right? That's when it becomes tangible. That's when it becomes realistic. That's when it becomes an everyday goal and not just a dream. Oh, one day I aspire. No, that's when it becomes real. So think about your goals in those longer term sense, like this is what I want to accomplish this year, and then continue to break them down until it's something that you can do every day. So after going through these 3 steps of reflection, making it plain, and making it actionable, at this point you should have, or at least I had, a full plan of how I'm achieving this goal, which is 2 steps further, 10 steps further even than I was last year, because last year I just said I wanted to do it. This year I feel like I have a plan of how I'm gonna do it. I got a master plan. It's all up here. I got a master plan. And all of a sudden things seem achievable and I'm really excited to pursue them. So I don't know what your dreams are. I don't know what this year's goals are. I hope that you take these steps to achieve them, because the first 2 steps are really hard, okay? Once you have to drag yourself, or once you have to really dig deep, it's like, maybe I'll do this another day. No, I challenge you to really do so. Really dig up in there and get your deepest heart's desire and what you have been dreaming and sleeping on for years or months or whatever the case may be. Pull that from the depths of wherever it is and put it on the table. Look at it, stare at it, okay? I challenge you to do so, because I don't know what your dreams are, but I just know that they are achievable. I feel like this is your year. Like, I've been saying this to my close friends. I'm like, this is my year. I don't know what about it, but something just feels like it's my year. It's Ashley's year. That's just how I feel. In doing so and just speaking that over my life and manifesting that, proclaiming that it is my year, I have a plan. It feels achievable and attainable, and I really feel like I can do this. And in doing so and saying so, I'm gonna shamelessly push through. I feel like a lot of the times I'm so afraid to fail publicly. I feel like that's what held me from YouTube for so long. I was just so afraid. For example, Vlogmas, I was like, oh my god, I said I was gonna do Vlogmas. 5 days I quit, I'm a loser. I'm gonna fail forward this year. If I'm failing and everybody knows about it, man, I tried. Like, I just am shamelessly gonna push through whatever the case may be, because there will be a breakthrough, and I truly just believe that. And I believe that for you too. I feel like this year is, why not you? Why is it not your turn to do what you said you were going to do? Why is it not your turn to be successful like you said you were going to? I just feel like this is the year that we bet on ourselves. And maybe it's my age or whatever the case may be, but I just feel like this is it. Like, it's not it's now or never, but if I'm going to fearlessly and shamelessly pursue my goals and the things that I want to achieve, why not this year? Why freaking not? That being said, taking these goals into the new year, shamelessly promoting, shamelessly betting on myself, and encouraging you to bet on yourself too. I just know we got this, okay? That's just the vibes I'm getting. All right, that's just how I feel. So I hope that you guys found this video helpful, and you know, my full-on pep talk at the end. I don't know what just happened, honestly, but my full-on pep talk at the end. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful, and I hope that you guys take the steps to do what you want to do this year. Make these goals actionable. Take them from long-term to short-term to everyday. I really encourage it, and I know that you can do it. Okay, I know that you guys can do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful or inspiring or empowering, and I hope that you took something away from this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye.